Hey everybody, good morning. Thanks for joining me for my walk on the beach. As you can see, it's pretty cloudy out here. Not much of a sunrise this morning, but it's okay because I can find beauty in that as well. What if I were to tell you that this makes me angry, that there's no sun? What would cause me to be angry that there's nothing but clouds, there's no sun this morning? What would make me feel angry over that? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. The truth behind anger and what anger is. Anger doesn't come about because something doesn't go my way. You know, if I had my way, it'd be a beautiful sunrise out here this morning. But it didn't go that way. So what's my reaction? Certainly not anger. Maybe I'm disappointed. But you know, I tend to lean on gratitude. Thank you, God, for giving me a beautiful gray, cloudy morning. Now, if I were to choose to be angry over this, that would be a way of coping with the disappointment. That would be a way of coming to terms with or dealing with the disappointment of all the clouds and no pretty sunrise. So, the truth about anger. The truth about anger is that it's actually very similar to drinking. You know, for years, I drank to cover up emotions that I didn't want to feel. I didn't know how to deal with those emotions. And so the way to deal with that was to become angry or drink and be angry. A combination of the two. Once we get sober, and we no longer have the alcohol to use as a way to cope with emotions or cover up emotions, anger can take its place. Anger is a way of dealing with an emotion that I don't enjoy having. You know, have you ever heard of someone say that they're angry at God? I've been there. I've been angry at God. And I've known many people who have expressed anger toward God. Now, why would you be angry at God? Let's look at that for a minute. If you're angry at God, you're experiencing something in life that has happened. No person on earth made it happen. So you can't be angry at a person. Something has happened. Maybe you lost a loved one. And you're feeling grief. You're feeling disappointment. You're feeling hurt. And you don't like to feel those feelings. So how do you deal with that? You can't drink anymore. So you lean on anger. Anger at God over the loss of a loved one. You know, I get it. I've been there. I've done that. How could you let this happen, God? Well, you know, none of us are getting out of here alive. It's just, that's the way it is, man. None of us are getting out of here alive. So that's the ultimate end of our life, is when we die. So it is kind of, it's a given. It's going to happen. We're all bound to pass away. But those feelings that we feel when we lose a loved one, the grief, the pain, the hurt, the disappointment, You know, we've been in such a habit of covering up feelings and emotions, especially those that are uncomfortable. We've been in such a habit of covering them up that we tend to lean on anger. Anger is what's known as a secondary emotion. It's not a primary emotion. The primary emotion is whatever it is that you're using anger to cover up. Whether it's grief, disappointment, there's no sun this morning, it's only gray clouds. So that's how we deal with it, is with anger. We deal with those emotions that we don't enjoy feeling. So in recovery, this is when we have to get out of our comfort zone and experience those emotions. I remember when I was early in the program, there was a woman that used to say, "Today I embrace the pain." I had no idea what she was talking about. It sounded like she was into some weird stuff there, right? No, embracing the pain means not running from it, not trying to cover it up, not trying to avoid feeling emotions that we have. We deal with the emotions that we have and we move on. We move on. We find a way to find a level of acceptance so that we can accept whatever emotions we're having. We feel them 100%. Experience those emotions. Don't try to cover them up. Experience them. They're a part of who you are. They're a part of life. So rather than cover up those feelings, those emotions that are uncomfortable, rather than covering them up with anger or with drinking, they're very similar. Whether you realize it or not, they're very similar. So by covering up those emotions, we're not fully experiencing them. And those emotions are there for a reason. We need to experience them. Remember how I was disappointed at no sun? Well, it showed up anyway. Not in all its glory, granted. But at least I didn't have to get angry about it. You know, the thing about anger is that it puts us in a more comfortable area. It puts us above everything. It creates a feeling of superiority. I'm angry, and now I can look down on you because I'm angry at you. Whether it's God or an establishment or a person. It puts me up here, looking down on, and I'm angry at. Well, that's all up in your head. It's not real. That's to feel better. We're feel-good junkies, you know what I mean? We really are. Anything that feels bad, ooh, quick, change it. No, sometimes you've got to embrace the pain. That way you're living in reality. And living in reality is the only way to truly be in recovery. No longer do I live in a fantasy world. I live in reality where I experience emotions that aren't that pleasant sometimes. That's just the way life is. We all have that. But I don't have to drink over it, and I don't have to use anger as a way to cope with those emotions. So, I hope everybody that's watching today is happy, joyous, and free. I encourage you all to embrace the pain of emotions that aren't that fun. They're not that comfortable. Rather than drinking over it or using anger to cope. So you guys have a great day. And I'll see you out here on the beach next time. Bye-bye.